Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about Li Auto. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today we're going to be doing a video about Li Auto. If you guys don't know what Li Auto actually does, Li Auto is an innovator in China's new energy vehicle market. Basically, they produce EV vehicles. Now, the company designs, develops, and manufactures and sells premium smart electric SUVs. So the company has been doing pretty well. Right now, they only do have one vehicle out. It is the I believe it's the Li Auto 1 or the Li 1. Basically, it's an electric SUV. It's a very nice SUV, and for the record, it is the top-selling electric SUV in China right now. So the company is doing very well. Li Auto, as a company founded in 2015, has started to see a lot of explosive growth ever since kind of the EV market has been exploding and just kind of been super rampant. Now, let's dive into the one-year chart here together. If we take a look at the one-year chart, this thing IPO'd July 30 of 2020, currently up over 100%. If we take a look at the 1 month chart, up 13%. So the company in itself is growing very slowly. Now, the reason why I'm doing a video about Li Auto is because I feel like this company is one of the more slept on EV companies, especially when it comes to the massive EV game in itself. Now, we hear all about Tesla, we hear all about NIO, we hear all about Xpeng and all these other EV companies, but I do feel like Li Auto does get left in the dust, and I don't want people to sleep on Li Auto because I do think the stock is worth the investment. Now, currently sitting at $32.60. Do I think the stock is worth an investment at $32.60? Yes, I do think Li Auto is a great investment at $32.60. Now, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. We should know this by now. It's just my personal opinion, but if we take a look at it from the broader perspective, Li Auto is going to be growing for a very long time. There's a lot of factors that back this up. One, Li Auto is planning on dropping more vehicles. Now, why is this important? Like I said, Li Auto currently only has one vehicle on the market. It is the top-selling SUV, so that's always a good sign, but Li Auto does need to start expanding its vehicle line if it wants to attract more clientele. As far as share price among its Chinese competitors, Li Auto actually does rank last among share price, but believe it or not, Li Auto actually does not rank last in its sales. NIO is the number one Chinese EV company that leads the whole market in sales, but Li Auto is actually number 2 in sales, followed by Xpeng, which is number 3. So if we take a look at it from a bigger perspective, Li Auto is playing its part and its sales are growing. We did get a look at Li Auto sales estimates, but even if you take a look at it from a bigger perspective, we can see the consistent growth of Li Auto sales over the months. It's just due to the simple fact that the Chinese EV game specifically is growing super rampantly, and that's just due to the Chinese government pushing EV sales. Now, if we take a look at it from a broader perspective, the EV game in China was not doing as well as it was in the United States, just due to the simple fact that here it was a lot more innovative. But like I said, since the Chinese government started pushing EV sales, started pushing up the EV market in itself, all these Chinese EV stocks have been doing very well. Now, if we take a look at it as well, it's expected, the EV market in China is expected to grow to 10 million vehicles by 2030. So we can definitely see that the market there is going to be growing for a very long time. Thus, it's going to push these Chinese EV company upwards. Now, like I said, the reason why I'm making a video of Li Auto is because I don't want people to sleep on Li Auto. I think the company has a lot of explosive potential, and I also think the company has a lot of upward potential as well. Even some analysts think that Li Auto is actually the better buy over Xpeng and NIO as well. So when you have a lot of analysts backing up Li Auto stock as well, it's always another good sign because these big-time investors have been doing this for a very long time, so they know what they're talking about. Not only that, but a lot of these Wall Street analysts are now starting to see the benefit and the long-term growth of what the EV world and all these EV companies can actually bring. Now, looking at it from a bigger perspective, let's do a price prediction. Where do I think Li Auto is headed by the end of the year? I think Li Auto can easily hit $50 to $60 by the end of the year. It is not out of reach, especially because in the year of 2020, we saw how much these EV companies saw as far as explosive growth. I don't expect that to slow down in the year of 2021. I don't even expect that growth to slow down in 2022. I think that these stocks are going to be growing to high-level prices in the next couple of years with the rise of the EV market and the overall expansion of the EV market in itself. Now, that's very good. And if you take a look at it, having a lot of bullish analysts on Li Auto and the expansion of the EV market itself is going to push Li Auto upward. Now, the biggest thing, and this is really where it comes down to, is can Li Auto keep up with its competitors, with Xpeng and NIO? And I'm not saying that Li Auto, like I said, Li Auto is actually second in sales. They actually are beating Xpeng in sales, but Li Auto does lack media attention over NIO and Xpeng. And this actually does play a little bit of a role, in my personal opinion. The fact that we see Xpeng and NIO articles all the time, but Li Auto was kind of left in the dust. But I don't want you guys to sleep on this company because, like I said, Li Auto has a lot of explosive potential. As they drop more vehicles and as their sales start to go up, I do expect Li Auto to continue to go upward. And Li Auto does actually offer some form of competitive advantages over its competitors, NIO and Xpeng. So if we take a look, Li Auto actually runs combustion engines and their vehicles that actually are run on gasoline, just due to the simple fact that the EV infrastructure in China is not that good. So Li Auto, thinking outside of the box here, really is trying to take a good marketing and innovative approach to everything. And I think that's very smart on Li Auto's part. But the biggest thing is, can Li Auto keep up with NIO? NIO really gaining a lot of attention. NIO has seen the most success out of its Chinese EV competitors, but I just want people to know that there can always be more than just room for one top EV company. With Tesla's expansion into China, it's definitely going to propose a threat on Li Auto, NIO, and Xpeng altogether, but I'm not worried because I do know that there is a spot for Li Auto, and I do think that Li Auto does have a lot of long-term and short-term potential growth, but I feel like people are not giving it the credit Li Auto actually deserves. And like I said, as analysts are getting more bullish, and Li Auto, and this is the great thing I love about Li Auto, is the share price is actually cheap for what the company actually offers. Take a look at NIO and Xpeng. They're not super expensive, but they're getting up there. They're about 55 to 60 bucks versus Li Auto is about $30. And Li Auto actually does have an advantage in one more category. If you guys have actually taken a look at its balance sheet, it looks very promising. The company is actually very close to profitability and is very good at really securing its debts altogether. If you take a look at NIO and Xpeng, they actually have a lot more debt than Li Auto does. So Li Auto's balance sheet does propose that Li Auto could have a chance of being profitable before NIO and Xpeng. It's just actually a little cool fact. And I just want to point that out there, that yes, I do check the statistics and the numbers behind Li Auto as a company. And like I said, if you actually dive into their balance sheet, coming from an accounting major, it does look very well. And it also does look like it's playing its part, like it's very keeping its debts in check, and it's doing very well as a company. I think Li Auto is a good buy, guys. I do think people should take the time, give Li Auto a chance, and invest in the company. I could see so much explosive potential as the EV market starts to continue to roar and the Chinese EV game continue to expand so quickly. Li Auto's stock price is probably going to go up as well. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Li Auto stock. Do you think Li Auto stock is worth a buy at $32.68? If you guys own Li Auto stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.